What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. I wanted to talk to you guys today about testing and standardizing your SHTF ammo. And I want to talk to you guys about why it's important to test and standardize all your ammo that you plan to use for all of your main SHTF defensive weapons, okay? So why do you want to, first of all, what does testing mean and standardizing, okay? Testing your ammo means that you're testing different aspects of your ammo to make sure that the ammo is good enough for what you intend to use it for, okay? So, for example, on my channel, you guys have probably seen me do a lot of different penetration tests where I shoot a lot of my big bore revolvers into 2x10s screwed together. And the reason why I do that is I'm testing the penetration capabilities of different factory and hand loads, okay? Because if, let's say, I'm using a pistol or rifle for bear defense, I want to make sure it can penetrate adequately, okay? So that's an example of a test, okay? And that's one way that you can test your ammo. There's other ways you can test your ammo as well. But in addition to testing your ammo, you want to make sure you standardize your ammo for all of your primary and secondary SHTF weapons, okay? Now, why do you want to standardize your ammo for all your weapons? Okay, well, think of it this way, all right? You want to make sure that the ammo that you're using is going to work for you, and you want to standardize that ammo for all your weapons. So, like, for example, if you look at the military or different police agencies, they typically test different types of ammo, and then they standardize the ammo that performs the best, okay? So you have to do that for your SHTF weapons, because you don't have the luxury of, working for a police department that has all this money that they can spend on testing different types of ammo and then selecting the ammo that performs the best. You don't go, let's say, if it's SHTF, you're not going to be there's not going to be somebody telling you what ammo is good and what ammo is not, like when you're in the military or you're police, okay? Your supervisors tell you what kind of ammo you're supposed to use, and the reason why is because they've already tested that ammo and they know that it works under most conditions and it's the best ammo for that particular weapon that you're using and for the mission that you plan to use that weapon for, okay? But you don't have that luxury, so you have to test your ammo and standardize your ammo, okay? So this way, because there's a lot of guys that are new into prepping now, a lot of guys that are just getting into prepping, and everybody wants to buy a gun and everybody wants to stockpile ammo. And I have a lot of friends and people that I know that are just newbies and just getting into firearms because of COVID and everything else. And they start panic buying, hundreds and thousands of rounds of ammo, but they don't even know what that ammo is capable of, okay? They've never actually tested that ammo to see how accurate it is, how good it penetrates, how well the bullet holds together, different things. They haven't spent enough time with different types of ammo on the range to determine which ammo is the best for their gun, okay? And they haven't standardized the ammo for all their weapons, all right? And that's critically important, okay? Because not all ammo is the same, or you would think that it is, but it's just like tires for your car, okay? A tire is not just a tire, okay? You have different types of tires. You have summer tires, you have mud tires, you have snow tires, you have all-season tires. There's so many different types of tires for your car, so you have to pick the right tire for your car based on the season and based on how well that tire works in your area, your weather, and how well it works with your vehicle. Okay, and it's the same thing with ammunition. All right, you have to test the ammo and you have to figure out which one works the best. All right, and then once you figure out which one works the best, you have to standardize that, and then that's going to be the ammo that you stockpile. Okay, so you test your ammo, figure out which one is the best for you and for your area and for your weapon, and then you're going to want to stockpile that ammo. Okay, so this way you're not wasting your money buying ammo that's not going to work for you, or is inconsistent, or it's not accurate, or it doesn't have good penetration, or the point of impact shifts. You want to standardize the best ammo after all your testing, and that's the ammo that you're going to want to stockpile. All right, so before you test and standardize your ammo, you have to think about the different types of ammo that you need. Okay, and I've talked about this before, and I'll mention it again. The things that you're going to want to think about is ammo for hunting, ammo for penetration. So if, let's say, you need to penetrate armor, or penetrate some type of cover, like let's say you want to stop a vehicle. Okay, if it's the collapse of society, you may want to stop vehicles. If, let's say, there's a gang of marauders coming into your neighborhood or down your road, and you may want to shoot at their vehicle and be able to break the vehicle and stop it, you're going to need bullets that can penetrate. Okay, so you want hunting ammo, penetrating ammo, and then you're going to want your standard, standard soft target ammo, like soft points and hollow points, which is for, let's say, an unarmored target that's not behind any kind of cover, all right, that's not hiding in brush or behind a wall or something like that. Your typical hollow points and soft points, your expanding bullets, all right. And then finally, you're going to want some ammo for target practice and sighting in. And typically for that, I try to get ammo that's very cheap, okay, because I don't want to waste my money on ammo that I know I'm just using for sighting in, or a little bit of practice. Okay, so that's where your cheap ammo is going to be. So hunting, penetration, soft targets, and target practice. Those are your 4 categories of ammo that you're going to want to test and standardize. Okay. Now, for hunting ammo, you're going to want bullets that have controlled expansion and have some type of a bonded core, so the core doesn't separate on impact when you hit the body of a large mammal. Okay, so you want something with a bonded core. If it's not bonded, then it should have like an interlock ring that holds the lead and the copper jacket together. And you want something with controlled expansion, okay? Because you don't want something that expands too rapidly, because if it expands too rapidly, you're going to have inadequate penetration, okay? So you want controlled expansion. You also want something with a flat trajectory, so you don't have to make ballistic compensations in the field. You should be able to have if you're looking for ammo for hunting, it should be pretty flat out to 200 yards, okay, where you don't really need to make any big adjustments on your scope, and you don't have to do a huge holdover, okay? For penetrating ammo, you're going to want hard bullets that are, let's say, solid copper, or some type of full metal jacket or something along those lines. Something that will be able to penetrate through hard objects and cover and brush and any kind of armor plating. Okay, for soft targets that are not armored and they're not hiding behind cover or not behind some brush, you're going to want to go with expanding bullets, soft points, hollow points, things like that. And then for sighting in and cheap practice ammo, you're going to want to get something that's just basic, with maybe decent brass, so you can hand load and reuse the brass on that one. So how do you test your ammo? Okay, once you've selected a few different types of ammo that you want to test, let's say you have 5 different companies that you bought and you want to test them out to figure out which one is the best for your gun and for your area. So how are you going to test that ammo to determine if it's which one's the best? What types of tests are you going to perform? Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to look at is the point of impact. All right, between the different types of cartridges. Okay, whether it's factory or hand loaded, you're going to want to see how the point of impact shifts in your gun when you go from one cartridge or one load to the other load. Okay, because every rifle and every firearm is different, and depending on your particular rifle or your handgun, the point of impact could shift quite significantly from one type of load to another load. Okay, I've had, for example, in my 300 Win Mag, I've had factory ammo that shifted 3 inches to the left. One company, I was zeroed with one particular type of factory ammo. I was zeroed perfectly. And then when I would use a different type of ammo, my point of impact would shift, 3 inches to the left. Okay, so that's not good. You don't want that, right? You want the point of impact to be relatively the same. You don't want it to be jumping around too much, okay? And that also ties in to your accuracy, okay? You want to shoot different types of loads and see which ones group the best, okay? Which ones have the tightest groups, all right? For a longer range rifle, a good gauge of accuracy is you want to be able to have at least a 1-inch group, a 3-shot group of 1 inches or less. Okay, that's what's known as a 1 MOA rifle. Okay, MOA stands for minute of angle. So you want to have a rifle that can shoot 1 MOA, and 1 MOA is a 1-inch group at 100 yards and a 10-inch group at 1,000 yards. That's considered to be 1 MOA, and that's the bare minimum for accuracy for a longer range rifle. All right, if you could get to half MOA or quarter MOA, that's really the best place you want to be for a longer range precision rifle. All right, for a battle rifle like a AR-15 or something like that, where you're going to be shooting under 200 yards most of the time, 2 or 3 MOA is perfectly acceptable. Okay. Especially if you're talking about like a CQB weapon that you plan to use max 100 yards, 2 or 3 MOA is perfectly fine. Okay, so you're going to want to test the different loads, see which one groups the best, and that'll be another way to determine which one is the best for you. So you're going to check to see the point of impact shifts. You're going to check to see the grouping, to see which one groups the best. And then you're going to want to measure velocity too, okay? You're going to want to get yourself a chronograph and measure the velocity. You want to see if, especially if you're using factory loads, even if you hand load, you always want to measure the velocity, because, you don't know if the velocity that the company prints on the box is actually accurate in your particular weapon, okay? Velocity can be different from one weapon to another. It can be overstated. A lot of companies overstate velocity. Okay, so you want to measure the velocity so you get an accurate understanding of what the real velocities are. If you're going to be using ammo for penetration, you're going to want to perform some type of penetration tests to see if that ammo is adequate for what you plan to penetrate. So let's say for SHTF purposes, you want something that can disable a vehicle. You may want to shoot that ammo at some type of a steel plate and see if it can penetrate a mild steel plate. Let's say like a 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch mild steel. You're going to want to see if it can punch through that, okay? And that would represent an engine block, all right? Now, other tests that you want to consider besides penetration, velocity, grouping, and point of impact is you want to see what the flash and the smoke are like. So, if you're using ammo that gives off a lot of flash and smoke, that's not a good thing for SHTF purposes because you can give your position away. So, again, the only way to figure that out is to actually go out there and shoot different types of ammo and then, observe which one gives you the biggest fireball and which one gives you the biggest smoke cloud. Okay, because all those things could potentially give your position away. All right, a giant fireball in the middle of the night, somebody can, figure out where you are from hundreds of yards away. All right, unless you really conceal yourself very well and you can break up that fireball. But so that's only something you can do by actually shooting. Okay, just like with accuracy. All right, you're not going to know which ammo is the most accurate unless you actually go out there and shoot all the different types of ammo. All right. Now, another thing that's probably the most important thing, one of the most important things in this whole list of different tests is how well does the ammo feed and how well does it extract. Okay. Do you get any kind of jamming issues? Okay. Do you have any kind of sticky extraction? All right. Sticky extraction is caused by the overexpansion of the case inside of the chamber. Okay. And the reason why that happens is if the pressure is too high. And when the pressure is too high, it'll cause the case to expand much more than it should. And as a result, it fits really tightly into the chamber and it makes it a lot harder to extract. Okay, so you don't want sticky extraction because if you're in a life or death situation and you're having difficulty ejecting a case, that's a problem. Okay, you can break your extractor. Okay, if you try to force it, a lot of extractors are not robustly built, especially on most bolt actions and semi-autos. Extractors are usually a very small piece of metal, and if you try to force it, you can snap it. All right, and that's one of the reasons why I like a controlled round feed Mosser style action for my bolt guns, is because of sticky extraction. All right, but you don't want sticky extraction. You don't want any kind of jamming. Okay, sometimes, especially if you're using a semi-auto, you have to make sure that the ammunition has enough pressure to push the bolt back and cycle the next round. Okay, so if the ammunition, some types of rifles, for instance, you have a gas block that you use to adjust the pressure. Okay, and depending on what type of ammo you're using, you have to adjust the pressure, and there's a valve that controls the pressure. Okay, so if you're using low recoil ammo, let's say for your home defense shotgun, and you have a semi-auto, that low recoil ammo may have difficulty cycling and difficulty with reliable extraction and feeding. Okay, because it's lower recoil. If it's lower recoil, that means it's generating lower chamber pressure, okay, and lower gas pressure. And the gas pressure is what pushes the bolt back and cycles, it extracts the case, ejects it, and then loads the next cartridge into the chamber. Okay, that's from the gas pressure. So you're going to want to look at the gas pressure. And this is only something that you can do by testing. Okay, so gas pressure, sticky extraction. Another thing is jamming. So sometimes the shape of the bullets can cause a jam inside of the feed ramp. Okay, when you're feeding the cartridge from the magazine box into the chamber, depending on the shape of the bullet, you could have a jam because of the shape of the bullet. If it's like a very aggressive flat nose bullet with a right angle on the, a wide me-plat, that could cause jamming in the feed ramp. Okay. Also, a lot of the ultra long high ballistic coefficient bullets can also be prone to jamming. or problems with feeding. Okay, so you want to look at how well does it extract and how well does it feed. Okay, it has to feed well and it has to extract well. Those are absolutely essential. You have to be able to get that case out of the chamber, and you also have to be able to get a new round into the chamber. All right, feeding and extraction are essential. So you want to test out your ammo and see if it extracts and feeds well. And the only way you can do that is by shooting dozens of rounds of each type of ammo that you're testing, because you know shooting 5 or 10 rounds is not enough. Okay, you have to shoot at least 50 or 100 rounds to make a determination if the ammo is feeding well and extracting well. Okay, and so finally, if you've done all those tests, all right, you looked at the point of impact, you've looked at the grouping, the velocity, the penetration, the flash and the smoke levels, how well it feeds and extracts, you're going to want to look at consistency. Okay, so assuming that, you know, let's say you have finalized your list of ammo that you want to standardize, and you've narrowed it down to, let's say, 2 or 3 different types of loads, whether they're factory loads or hand loads, then you're going to want to look at consistency. Okay, how consistent is that ammo? Okay, is the velocity consistent? Is the feeding and extraction consistent? Okay, is the flash and the smoke levels consistent? Okay, consistency is essential. You want the ammo to be repeatable. You want the performance of the cartridge should be repeatable. Okay, you don't want it to just perform very well one day and then perform like crap the other day. Like, you definitely don't want that. You want to have ammo that can shoot well and perform no matter what day of the week it is and what season it is. Okay, it should perform well all the time. It shouldn't vary, you know, from one box to another box. Okay, and that's consistency. So consistency is critical. All right, so that's pretty much it for this video, guys. I hope I gave you guys something to think about. And that's it for now. So thanks for watching. Take care. God bless. And don't forget the 3 Ps: prepare, practice, and persevere.